Hello, and welcome to Marketplace with Charles, brought to you by Art of Skincare. Art of Skincare, the company that brings out the beauty in you. I am Charles Ngobeni. On Marketplace, we aim to empower, encourage, and equip you with the right tools needed to move closer to achieving your entrepreneurial dreams, goals, and vision. We aspire to take out what is in you and bring it out there to shine in the world. Each week we bring you insights from experts in different fields of business, men and women of faith, but most importantly, also from ordinary people from all walks of life. Today we look at the National Lottery in South Africa, the man behind the scenes that is responsible for everything that the money spinner is all about. I promise you that this will be one of the show you'll be glad to have tuned in today. I'm so excited to have you as my audience today. It's always sweet to be the bearer of good news. My guest today is a distinguished Professor Alfred Nevhutanda. He will expose a number of important issues around the lottery that go beyond panda pusher play. Stay with us, and your life will never be the same again. When one talks about the National Lottery, most of people think is the Tatama chance. What comes to our mind is Tatama Millions, and so on, and Panda Pusher Play program, Many are not aware that whereas you may not win by buying a ticket to play, there are other ways of winning that are brought to play by the same establishment. We are talking about the National Lottery here. Also, many may not know who the man behind this lottery board is. But chances are that they may know very little of who the machine behind the National Lottery is, as well as what. Apart from playing the various games provided by the program, is the mission of the National Lottery to advance the national welfare. Get that one clear. The mission of the National Lottery is to advance the national welfare. I want us to take few moments that we have on today's program to make an expose of this establishment and how it is positioned to be an instrument of aid to programs that you might be interested in. Stay tuned and you'll never regret. Prof Nevhutanda, welcome to Marketplace with Charles.
Thanks very much, Mr. Charles Ngobeni.
Viewers out there, they know little about you or none at all. Do you mind to give us briefly of who you are, where you come from, and your background?
Oh, thanks very much, viewers out there. Of course, I'm not an extraordinary person. I'm very, very, very ordinary, down to earth. I hail from Dutunia, Chivasa, born on the 16th of 1953. That is around June.
Okay, way time back.
So, briefly, today I see myself sitting in the helm of the National Lotteries Commission, which I think you are right, Charles, that we have got a mission. And we have tried to better the mission. We are now changing the lives of people so that they change to better. This person is, as I said, is an ordinary person who eats muroho, meat, and pap. Here I am from the place I've mentioned, but I've not finished my journey. I'm still pushing forward. The current slogan of the operator of lottery, Ituba, is Panda Pusher Play. So in life, if you don't pander and you don't push and you don't play according to the rules, you end up getting lost.
I love that. You know, with all honesty, I love your humility, your down-to-earth attitude. Should I say a young man who grew up from a poverty-stricken family until now that I understand you have got 13 degrees. Is that correct?
Well, at times, Mr. Charles Ngobeni, I get confused how many they are. But as far as I know, I studied BA Arts,
Yes.
HED Higher Education Diploma with UNISA, up to PhD level. And because of the love of music, with the background of the church, I told myself to go and study music. And I studied music from a junior degree up to a PhD level. I also, because as a person who likes business, I studied a diploma in business studies and also management MBA coursework. I didn't write the thesis because I felt I've written Masters of Education in thesis, Doctorate in Education thesis, Masters of Music thesis, Doctorate of Education thesis. So I felt, let me not proceed with writing a thesis for the MBA, but I believe there could be 12 or 13. At times I get confused because most of them I never used them. But what I can tell you, Charles, is that viewers out there, more especially students, education opens your mind.
Yeah.
It opens possibilities. I'm in the helm of the National Lotteries Commission. I never studied issues of lottery. But because of the basic principles that I accumulated from all these courses, I now understand what lottery is. And I can stand and debate with reputable people in the world.
You spoke a little bit about education as well. You know, that education opened a window of opportunities which could have been closed. But having looked at what you have achieved and what you are doing now, I think there must have been an element of hard work somewhere. You know, the reason why I want to bring this element of hard work is because most of the Christians, we have been taught that work is a curse. And yet, when God created man, he created the garden first. And he has put man into the garden and said to man, you need to take care of the garden. I want to believe that is serious agriculture. Because
Definitely.
that meant that taking care of the garden, you had to prune, you had to cut the grass.
Yes.
That was hard work. Miles Monroe puts it differently, or the late Miles Monroe, he said, fish of the sea have been made to swim, birds of the air have been created to fly, and man is created for work. Can you say something a little bit about hard work and how it made you?
Hard work, Mr. Ngobeni, pays. I remember, and I don't forget this, when I was writing higher education diploma, there was one course, it was the last course of my examination. The course was called Gifted Child.
Uh-huh.
I read all books, and at the final day, I decided to cross over. And I don't encourage people to cross night.
You know, I can agree with you about cross-nighting because what I found out with me, if you cross-night, you'll always pay the following day.
Yes.
In other words, you can work the whole day, and again you work the whole night.
Exactly.
But the following day,
You won't work.
You won't be able to work. You like it or not.
It happened to me.
That's why we need to relax sometimes.
Yes, it happened to me. I studied the whole, the course for the whole night. I went to, Makwarela, Esbasa. We were writing the UNISA examinations there. So that year, I enrolled for 18 modules. It was a record. When I went to the exam room, what I saw was the paper coming to me. How people started writing, I was no longer there, I was fast asleep. And the invigilator didn't see me. He saw me after 30 minutes and ran to me to wake me up, and it was already late. Well, I wrote what I wrote, but in brief, at the end, UNISA gave me 14 marks for that course. I thought maybe they made a mistake. It's 41. I phoned them. They said, no, we didn't make a mistake, because the reason why I phoned them, they gave me supplementary for the 14 marks. Simply because I passed 17 modules, and that's the only one I failed. Hard work pays, and I think hard work is not only defined in terms of studying. Hard work even is defined in terms of when you are working for God, when you are doing well. The Bible says, whatever your hand can do it with might. With all your might. Because we are on our journey, and the end of our journey is death. At the graveside, there is no work. There's no work. So their brains, as Miles Monroe, said, their brains which have got millions, but the ideas are not being used. So I think I encourage people to work. Anything that comes to your mind, make sure that keep your mind working, and you are not old to work. So that's my philosophy.
I am a product of hard work.
I know.
But Prof, I understand you're a pastor. You know, I can tell by the scriptures that you quote here. As a pastor, your spiritual life and lottery, pusher, panda play, how does this thing work together? Or what does your spiritual role helps you as a chairperson of National Lottery?
Oh, well, it's a very good question. Let me also give credit to the late Dr. Miles Monroe.
Yeah.
He met me at Southern Sun, and he asked me, what are you doing? And I said, I'm the chairperson of the National Lotteries Board. He said, oh, so how do you cope? I said, no, I cope very well. But the man of God just said, you have chosen a very good work. Why? The definition of lotto is a game of chance. Although some people will say it's gambling, it is a game of chance. If you do, in fact, in your introduction, you summed it very well. If you don't win, somebody has won. Because if you don't win those Tata Millions or Panda Pusher play, your money goes back to what we call National Lottery Distribution Trust Fund. That is where I chair. That money every year is between 1.5 to 2 billion. 1.5 billion to 2 billion, which we distribute to non-profit organizations, non-governmental organizations, community trusts, free of charge. You don't bring it back. You use that money. So I find it very, very, stable and good position where I am, because we deal with money.
And your spirituality helps you.
It helps me
As a
because
faithful steward.
how can the person who grew up from a very poor family meet 2 billion, 3 billion?
And does not even take a cent.
Yes, and you don't steal. So the principle of the Bible tells me these monies are for the public, because Charles Ngobeni went to the machine thinking that he or Charles Ngobeni's mother, who depends on a pension, goes to the restaurant to play a lottery with 5 rand, thinking that she's going to win, and she doesn't win. And here comes Prof Nevhutanda and the other board members. We embezzle those funds. It is a heartbreaking for somebody who stood patiently thinking that one day I will win. So I think as a pastor, and I don't hide it, I tell them I'm a pastor.
I so wish all people could be like that, not necessarily being pastors, but having a spiritual conviction of some sort, and be honest and be faithful. This country would be a better place.
Exactly.
You know, in a nutshell, Prof, can you tell us what are your responsibilities within the National Lottery Board?
Well, as the chairperson, I chair the board, but below the board structure, there is what we call distributing agencies. There are 3. The main ones are 3. Is distributing agency for sport and recreation.
Yes.
Distributing agency for arts and culture. Distributing agency for charities. And of course, the board has been given a responsibility to distribute 2%. Now, in the distributing agency of sport and recreation, they look after sporting activities. For example, creating fields, making sure that the Team South Africa, when it goes to Olympic, they are having funds, building of, grounds, buying of the kits. With the distributing agency for arts, we are looking at festivals, we are looking at heritage, we are looking at things like, building the theaters, where, like the studio like this one, we do provide. Charities, we look at old age homes, creches, early childhood education. Those are the things that we do. And most importantly, we have now introduced rehab centers in order to make sure that our society doesn't get so frustrated by the drugs. Anyone who is contracted by HIV, AIDS, and whatever, those are the programs that we do fund in order for people to survive. And guess what, Mr. Ngobeni? With this money, we also create jobs, because we appoint those people who are not working. They come and work for those projects, and they get salaries. Salaries which may be better than the government salaries. So in other words, lottery is an employer of choice in a nutshell.
I would honestly like to go on a break, but unfortunately, it looks like I'm sitting in a classroom here. I don't want to miss this opportunity. You know, let's just carry on without a break, Prof. Because if we go on a break, we'll be wasting valuable time. You know, I'm looking at my audience, my viewers out there who could be entrepreneurs. You know, how can Lotto benefit them?
Well, there are areas where I could even share this knowledge. You see, you come as a non-profit organization.
As an entrepreneur?
Yes.
You come as a non-profit organization. Okay.
You tell us the project you want to do. For example, you want to build a school for music or for drama. So after creating such a project, we give you 2 million or 10 million. You put that structure in place. We don't say to you, the money you are going to get or the little money that you are going to get, you must bring it to lottery.
Yes.
We say it is yours. For example, there's a project when you, if you go to Limpopo, around Pulukwane, there is this Limpopo Youth Orchestra.
Yes.
They have got their place where they sing, and more than 200 people come and buy tickets and go and listen to the music. They pay. If you go to around the area of Ngobeni, there is a beautiful lodge, an African lodge.
At the big tree.
Exactly.
I think I know it.
So there you find agriculture is being practiced there.
Yes.
Poetry is being practiced there. You know, the hotel, the lodge is a 7-star lodge.
Yes.
And
yes.
it has been built by the lottery money.
And it's beautiful.
If you go to Eastern Cape at the University of Fort Hare, there is a recording studio that has got label. You can go. Even you Masekela went there to record. It has been built by the lottery money. The university applied. We gave them, and they implemented the project.
And the university is making profits out of it.
Exactly.
The same thing with the orchestra that you mentioned. They got money from the lottery, but they're making money from the selling of the tickets.
Exactly. You go to KwaZulu-Natal, we've got Satma. People go there to be given, you know, the awards. You have got this gospel awards, Crown Gospel Awards. We participated. I think there was a year.
I saw you on a TV, and you also promised to help them the following year.
Yes, exactly. We participated with them. It was very good. The gospel music is being, you know, taken up to the ladder, and we invite many more people to come and apply. If I can tell you, Mr. Ngobeni, last year we put 570 million for building early childhood centers across the country. So even if I retire, at least there is something that I can go and point. This ECD center has been built by the money that I have been a chairperson, and I dreamt about introducing those things. The government, you know, the law doesn't tell us what to do. You have to be creative. For example, last year, when the country was in drought condition, we provided close to 60 million to provide boreholes across the country.
And what I like with your job, Prof, is that you have been there for years now.
Yes.
And I can attribute that to your hard work, to your faithfulness, to your spirituality, and to your educational background. It doesn't matter who you are, where you come from, we can all be successful. In a nutshell, can you tell us the sectors that have been identified as qualifying?
Well, those that can qualify, one, is a non-governmental organization,
Yes.
NGO.
NGO, yes.
2, non-profit organization
Yes.
or non-profit company.
Yes.
Community trust, but not family trust. When it comes to churches, it must be an organization registered within the church, but cater for everybody, not one religion.
Yes, yes.
Yes, you even churches do benefit. So those are the sectors that can benefit lottery money. For example, we've got a minimum amount that we can give from 0 to 500,000. That is the small grant. A medium grant is from 1 million to 5 million. A large grant is from 5 million upwards, 10 million, 20 million, 30 million. So the chance for everybody to come with a project is very, very, very open.
And you also work with SMME.
Yes, they benefit. In fact, most of SMMEs are the ones who are building our ECD centers. Just now, I think last year, we said, no, let's come up with a concept of rehab centers. SMMEs are building those centers. So we create a number of job opportunity other than just giving funding.
Prof, you know, we never ever had a marketplace with Charles without a break.
Exactly.
This is the first time that it happened. And unfortunately, we're out of time. I was supposed to have thrown 2 breaks.
Yes.
But time was against us. And we're not done. We're not done. Can you encourage the viewers out there to watch Marketplace next week, same time, so that we can continue with this? Because it's still a lot to learn from you.
Yeah, I will encourage viewers out there to watch Marketplace, because I think this is a God-given idea, because the Bible says, my people perish because of lack of knowledge. And I think the host has created an open space for all of us to come and testify and give people information that the sky should never be a limit.
I love that. I love that. You know, when we grew up, we were told that the sky is a limit. But it took me only one day to be in an aeroplane and fly above the skies. Then I immediately realized, no, the sky is no longer the limit anymore.
Exactly.
Viewers out there at home, this brings us to an end of yet another episode, informing episode of Marketplace with me, Charles Ngobeni. You know, we never had enough time, but I believe by God's grace, we'll continue with the episode next week. Catch us again on the same channel, same time. But in the meantime, you may want to contact us via the website charlesngobeni.com, or follow me on Instagram, Charles_Ngobeni, or you may like us on Facebook, Charles Ngobeni. God bless you. See you next week with Prof Nevhutanda.